An anastomotic aneurysm in the groin is a common complication following patchplasty or bypass surgery with origin or insertion at the femoral bifurcation. This clinical picture is often announced acutely and dramatically, but frequently turns out to be chronic and thus relatively harmless. However, in some cases, it can also present as a highly acute, life-threatening situation with high mortality. Case example: a 63-year-old unkempt patient who had not visited his general practitioner for a long time is admitted as an emergency by the latter. The admission diagnosis is aneurysm after bypass surgery. After a brief medical history, you find out that the patient underwent a right-sided iliofemoral bypass 5 years ago and has had a swelling in the groin for several months. This causes the patient no discomfort, not even currently. His walking distance has been unlimited since the bypass, and he walks into the emergency department. The surgical scars are unremarkable, and there is no discoloration. The pulsating swelling is visible to the naked eye, and there is no tenderness on pressure. Foot pulses are strong and palpable on both sides. CTA reveals an anastomotic aneurysm that has been present for some time and is well encapsulated, suture insufficiency in the groin after arterial reconstruction. Status post-patchplasty or bypass surgery. Typical vascular patient, often with multiple previous surgeries, reports a pulsating swelling in the groin for a long time, which is often barely or not at all painful, or an acutely occurring painful, pressure or spontaneous pain, bulge with bleeding complication. Sometimes also presents with infection symptoms such as redness in the groin and febrile temperatures. Typical on-call situation. Patients with chronic anastomotic aneurysm usually present electively via the outpatient clinic. During on-call duty, most presentations are due to acute swelling with increasing pain. Not infrequently, there is also an emergency referral from the general practitioner who is seeing the finding for the first time and wants to be on the safe side. If the patient reports that he has had this swelling for years and denies pain, diagnostics and therapy should be managed electively via the outpatient clinic. Diagnostics: clinical examination, scars from previous operations, redness, swelling, tenderness on pressure, fistula with secretion. Laboratory: elevated inflammatory markers, suggestive of infection. Elevated D-dimers could indicate a thrombotic event. Ultrasound: aneurysm size can be determined, compression of the adjacent vein visible, parietal thrombi detectable, rare. Signs of infection: wall thickening in large lymph nodes, CT angiography, extent of the aneurysm formation, active bleeding, perfusion of inflow and outflow vessels, including bypass occlusion, air inclusions as a clear indication of infection. Therapy: conservative, indications: small aneurysm without symptoms, refusal of surgery, inoperable patient due to multimorbidity, limited linked underlying disease. Approach: pain management, antibiotic therapy if infection is suspected, prophylactic low molecular weight heparin, Clexane, 0.4 ml 40 milligrams, if mobility is limited, or therapeutic low molecular weight heparin, e.g. Clexane, twice daily, weight adjusted, if oral anticoagulation must be paused and bridging is necessary, if necessary. Conachian if quick is decreased under fempercumin PPSB only in vital emergencies, as the risk of thromboembolic complications is increased. Interventional: indications: multiple previous surgeries or history of radiation therapy. Approach: placement of a coated stent for bridging or palliative intent, embolization if necessary with coils or onyx. Surgical: indications: pain, rapid increase in size, external and/or systemic signs of infection, hemorrhagic shock, sepsis, impending disruption of skin continuity, arterial venous compression with ischemia. Approach: exclusion and placement of an interposition graft, removal of synthetic patch and replacement with autologous vein or xenogenic bovine pericardium material. Explantation of an infected bypass in case of irreversible ischemia, amputation, life before limb. Call the on-call service at night. If there is no active bleeding and the patient is stable, admit to the ward and keep the patient fasting for the morning rounds. In case of active bleeding with hemodynamic instability, urgent contact is necessary. Tips and tricks: if justifiable, not a vital emergency, but urgent, postpone the surgical procedure to the next working day. Procedures performed on call can lead to serious complications. Disinfect and drape the surgical field extensively from the nipple down to and including the leg using sterile technique. If necessary, abdominal retroperitoneal access may be required to control inflow. Vein harvesting may be necessary for an autologous interposition graft. Peripheral embolectomy, thrombectomy, may be required if peripheral embolization has occurred. Bypass reconstruction may be necessary if ischemia is present and perfusion cannot be restored by thrombectomy. In case of ischemia, leave the foot exposed to assess reperfusion. Case example. Continued inpatient admission is not absolutely necessary. This is clearly a chronic anastomotic aneurysm. You should rule out an arterial occlusion, which can be ensured by history, unrestricted walking distance, and pulse status, strongly palpable foot pulses. Further elective surgical planning can be organized on an outpatient basis through the clinic.